the button.
Okay, I think we can all be heard.
Hello.
Hi.
Yep. Looks like we're good.
I'm gonna go to twitch.tv.JazLyte.
Yeah. No, it's twitch.jazzlight.tv. Oh, Ari's back.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I
Yo.
Ari.
Ari.
I don't know how much I'm gonna participate. I was just like, this seems like the best view of the show.
Yeah.
It's not on Twitch, so I'll hack in.
Oh, it's on Twitch.
Oh, okay. I was just on Twitch.
Oh
I
shit.
didn't see you.
I put the thing. I just didn't. I hadn't started it yet.
Okay.
Your stream is salt. Still, if you want.
Oh, yep. There it is.
Oh
I
yeah.
see it.
Oh yeah. Okay. What's up, Gato Nero? Welcome. It's going good.
Dang, that dude was ready.
He was ready.
He was hitting F5, waiting for you to start.
This nigga is a rig. He is here on the rig. Okay, let me
Hello.
let's see. Ooh. Oh my god, what is it doing?
I'm trying to think of a name for your stands. A jazz wife.
A jazz. Yo. Wait, is there a musician named Jazz Wife? It has to be a fucking musician. You can't just have a stand. It's got to be a fucking musician. Apparently,
No, not a stand. A stan.
Oh, a Stan account. Like
Oh! I thought you said a stand. Like a JoJo stand.
So did everybody else. So I probably did. You know, if everyone heard it, then it probably was that. I'll take the L. In fact, it was recorded, so you know I can't really back out of this.
Gato Nero, that's okay. You can still give me a stand, baby. Do it. Let it rock. What is it? What's the name?
Oh, but Kalen's stand?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an even better question, though.
Oh my god.
Is there a stand? I bet there is. Is there one for Holy Diver?
Oh yeah.
Alright, never mind.
Damn. I fucking love that song. That sucks.
Wait. Is there? Wait, hold on. There's Diver Down. Wait, that's a different song.
I don't. What the
Well, obviously there's Dio.
Let me look it up. Diver from
Wait, what the fuck?
JoJo Bizarre.
Holy Diver.
Oh yeah,
is
it's the
version?
stand for Dio. Wait, what?
Wait.
Huh?
Phantom Blood Chapter 5. Wait, what?
The fuck?
Wait, hold up. What? No, his.
Holy Diver is the stand of Dio Brando featured in JoJo's other adventures. Oh, is this like a fan thing?
Oh.
Sounds not canon.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a version of the world from a universe where Dio obtained a stand at the same time he became a vampire. Yo, that sounds sick as fuck.
That's OP. That's fucking OP. Okay, just changing the stream info. This is not Guilty Gear Strive. This is a podcast. This is talk shows and podcasts.
What about it? What about your stand being Monster Mash?
I fuck with that. I fuck with that. I also like the thought of it being all black everything too.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
The clipping song or the original?
The clipping song.
Oh my god, that song is amazing.
All black everything. Hell yeah.
Dude, clipping would be an amazing stand in general.
That is a good stand.
Yes.
A good stand.
Record audio and blow people's heads up.
Hell yeah.
Ballroom Blitz is pretty.
That is a good one. Yeah. Fucking.
Okay. Gato came with the heat.
Oh, Black Sweat by Prince.
Black Sweat.
Rocking up a black sweat. Anyway.
Pork soda is a good one. Pork soda.
Dude, yes! Oh my god, Glass Animals, hell yeah. Pork soda.
Wait, that's Primus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh!
I don't know what Bad Medicine is from though. I'm reading
Glass Animals do
yeah,
a cover of
Katana.
Pork Soda?
I guess so. They have a song called Pork Soda.
What
Oh.
the fuck?
They
That's
must
crazy.
have covered Primus.
Damn.
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yes, animals covering Primus.
Yo, it makes sense. I'm not in love with Dave Bailey. Shut up. Anyway, okay. So now that we got 9 fucking people in here.
10.
Yeah. So let's start this fucking debate. Welcome everybody. This is somewhat a fucking talk show. And we are here to fucking debate and explore the topic of objective quality versus self-indulgence in art. We have talked about this a lot on here and debated about this a lot, but it's a constant topic of discussion in art circles because there is, when we talk about objective quality, we're talking about like the academic idea of getting better, of making good art, of doing like art that is impressive on a technical level. Whereas
Doing it right.
doing it the right way, yes. And for self-indulgence, we just mean starting from a point of doing something selfish with your art, as opposed to the idea of trying to like make it for the sake of technical quality. So when I say that, I mean like making some horny art, making some gay furry gorehound shit, you know, something like that. And it doesn't mean that things that are self-indulgent can't be technically impressive, and it doesn't mean that technically impressive things can't be self-indulgent, because oftentimes they are both. But just to set that's where we're starting off from. Does anybody want to add anything to these definitions, or y'all want to just get right into it?
I guess like
Still confused over what's being debated because, how do I put like you've touched on it that oftentimes they are both the same. So, like what? Give me I guess I need to hear an example of someone defending technical art or good art, because the way it's being explained is cartoonishly bad.
Damn.
I don't mean like let me rephrase that. You villainized it
Nigga.
very clearly.
I'm not. I am not
Okay.
villain. Look at how much effort I am putting into this fucking cartoon. I've been working on this cartoon for 4 years. I am not in any way against technical shit being very important, because like if I didn't care about technical art, this would just be the storyboard, and I'd be like, this is my movie, that's it, fuck you, like, you know.
Okay, that actually clarified a lot. I thought it sounded like you were like 100% in one camp, and now I like, oh no, that's not what this is.
It
No.
sounds more like it's about which one do you put first.
Yes.
I get and
Thank
to
you.
what percentage do you consider one over the other? Because there are people, I think, who truly only see art as like a exercise. Like they don't really it's not about any kind of self-indulgent expression. It's more about just being the best
Yeah.
in a craftsmanship sense of the word.
I don't
and
know anyone like that.
they're out there. I mean, they're mostly in the industry, honestly. Like, I think there's a lot of people who mainly focus on honing their skills artistically and don't, or their artistic skills in a professional sense, and don't really give two shits about making their own personal work.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of like hard to quantify. Well, okay, so like there's also the idea of like work made at a big budget at a studio with lots of hands involved,
Mhm.
like a Studio Ghibli or something, versus like indie shit you can see on Newgrounds. And I guess the debate is one better than the other, or
And it's,
is there such a thing as like achieving greatness? Like, do you need to have high budget for something to be great, or can it be great if you make it in Microsoft Paint in 5 minutes?
yeah.
Okay, I think I see the question now, and you guys have a good sense of it. So I'll let you guys carry it, and if I feel an inkling to step in, I will. But I'll let you guys go.
Yeah. fuck up, nigga. No, I'm just kidding. No, please feel free to step in
I
at
give
any
you
time.
permission to persist.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
Carry
Lord Ari,
Carry
for he is kind.
I dubbed this conversation intellectual enough for my time.
Yeah, and also like we acknowledge gray areas. None of us are completely in one camp, So
What?
yeah,
This is gonna be a shitty debate.
it's gonna be very slippery. I just like took a spoonful of fucking cannabis syrup. I'm barely a person anymore. So
I think the
let's
framing of this as a debate is what got me more tripped up because I can't see exactly where we're gonna split hairs yet, but I'm sure it'll come.
Yeah,
Clickbait.
it just
Yeah, there we go.
Click,
There it is.
click debate.
We got these 6 stupid.
What's up, Big Bear Underwear? What's up, Rogier?
No,
let's
I'm
see.
kidding. Y'all are cool.
Fuck you, nigga.
Oh, sorry.
Phelan destroys Ari with indulgence, cringe, and 0 technical skills.
Based. Galanero says, since I guess I'll ask this, are we talking about being self-indulgent art for your own cartoons versus self-indulgence art and making it for a company? Just in like what you as a person like get out of it, and like we're gonna just talk about all this stuff. It's not gonna be much of a debate so much as an exploration.
Both in terms of like creating it and consuming it, because
Yes.
I have like, I think that's where I might be able to kind of lean on the on professionalism, on the craftsmanship angle. Is I do have a pretty hard time watching art that I perceive to be amateurish, like personally, like it's just not aesthetic. Like I put aesthetics on a pretty high pedestal when it comes to art that I can consume. So like there's a lot of people who really dig like I don't want to say any examples because I don't want to like put anybody on blast, or I don't, not that I'm putting them on blast, just like I don't want to like, it's not about the product itself, but it's just like when it comes to like a lot of web comics or a lot of stuff that people are really into despite the graphics, I have a hard time getting into that kind of stuff because to me graphics looking nice in like a video game, for example, is like insanely important. So, unfortunately, that kind of means that I pass up a lot of really fun indie shit in favor of like AAA studio stuff. Which is kind of, for somebody who does truly believe that art is about self-expression, I find that kind of paradoxical about myself. So there's something.
Hell yeah. Like, it kind of goes back and forth for me because I need the things that I watch and consume to be engrossing. And sometimes with a certain lack of technical skill, things can be less engrossing. But what I've noticed though is that if something is genuine to the artist who made it, if it's like very, very fascinatingly personal or masturbatory, that can keep my attention, and oftentimes keeps my attention better than things being technically good. For instance, the Marvel movies are very technically solid, but to me are extremely fucking boring to watch. And the reason that I feel that way is because they don't feel personal most of the time. Like it's not that I think that they're bad. It's not that I think that they're badly made. It's that I need more of an injection of like just personal, like, yo, this is this filmmaker, and less of like the committee who is deciding what things feel like on the screen. I need to see the person who made it, in like warts and all when I watch a movie, even if it is technically skilled.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You need the auteur. I have something that's been on my mind recently that feels relevant to this conversation, which is I was kind of thinking about like, I don't consider myself a perfectionist, but most people don't spend a year of their life making something for free just based off an idea in their head. And I do that. And I was kind of thinking about, well, why do I feel like it needs to be at a certain level of quality before I can put it out there? And there's a number of reasons. There's a whole system of things. Some are egotistical, some aren't the healthiest. But one in particular I think is worth sharing is that there is a certain kind of way that I want people to feel when they watch it. And my strength as an artist is with the visuals. And if I want someone to feel the way that I need them to, then I need to put in that kind of time and effort and maybe technical knowledge in order to achieve that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think that's important when, we are social animals, and if we're trying to connect with other people and that's the best way we know how to do it, then that's where technicality comes into play.
Agreed.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean,
limitation.
When I was in
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I don't think it's a tangent. When I was in art school, I had a really hard time. I went to like an arts high school, and we had like kind of these this weird level system where no matter what grade you were in, the art school determined where you fit between levels 1 and 5. So I'm sorry, 1 and 4. So 1 was basically like introductory, learning the basics of art, like foreshortening, shading, volume, things like that. And then level 2 was like, you've got the basics down, now you need to start learning themes. Level 3 was basically like, you're really good at developing themes, and the teachers are just helping you like push it along even further and push like beyond. Yeah, this was all like painting and stuff, so it's very like quote unquote fine art oriented. And then level 4 was basically they would leave you the fuck alone and just give you a studio space. So that was like the bragging rights of the school, basically. And I never got out of level 2. In the 5 years that I went there, I could not get out of level 2 because I was so bad at being self-indulgent. Like I wouldn't dig into themes, I wouldn't say anything, I didn't want to say anything. I was like too self-conscious and timid to really do that. So I leaned so hard on technical ability to the point where even my teachers were like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what are you saying though? Like, you're really good at painting like faces and stuff, but like, do you have something that you want to say?
Yeah.
And I don't know, like it's kind of this odd thing where it's like at the end of the day, I think I decided that my technical ability was what I was trying to say. It was basically like, no, look, I'm really good at this shit.
That's
like,
valid.
That was all I was really doing. I was just flexing. And I was fine with that for years. And then it wasn't really until I met like you and Ari and Kalen and my other friends from KCAI where I started really like trying to dig into themes. But I still had this like kind of like, no, there's a right way to do shit and a wrong way to do shit, because that was all I kind of had.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess that's just to add that sometimes perfectionism can be in and of itself, I think, a valid form of expression, but sometimes it is just kind of like making up for a shortcoming of, I don't know how to express myself, so I'm just going to be perfect at anatomy. Like, there are artists who just kind of do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two quick things. First thing is to me, the reason why this shit gets so fucking slippery is because aesthetics are often theming. They tell you a lot about the person. Like when you see a character because like you could say that, but like your shit had this very specific kind of feeling about it. Like you were drawing these horrific monsters who should look like some shit from a fucking, what is it, an SMP, like a fucking cryptid or something like that you would find like smoking crack, fucking a deer, out in the woods or something, like next to a UFO. But like they were like also kind of like funny and like goofy looking. Like they had kind of like this, the way you would draw the teeth, the way that their like emotions look, they always look smug or like they were showing off something, even though they were doing something weird or disgusting. Like, and that to me is, and like that is saying something, and that is like personal. Like it is those two things mixing, and also a question. What did the level 4s look like? Like, did you meet any of them? What were they like?
No,
what were they doing?
Is this the art school of L. Ron Hubbard or something?
Right.
It had a little bit of a Scientology kind of feel to it, but no, they were just like they were just really solid. The thing is, it's like at the end of the day, they're still high school kids, right? Like that. This was like the most life experience they could be expected to have was that of a to be honest, most of the level 4 kids were also kind of upper class. Not to, not to discredit their artistic ability or anything because of that, but there was also just kind of this odd feeling of like they just knew how to schmooze with like fine art people. So it was a lot of art, really well done art about teenage explorations of identity. In like the early 2000s. So like just, body, it was kind of like the beginning of like the body positivity movement. So it would be like a lot of women drawing their bodies in kind of like unflattering ways to make a statement, which I think is cool. Like that's pretty legit. And for at the time it was kind of boundary pushing. So it was sort of like, it was valid. It was just kind of like not really my thing, so I didn't go there because I was just like a cartoon guy. Like I was just really into fucking anime, and they didn't want me to draw cartoons anymore. They wanted me to draw fine art, so I was just like, I don't know what that means. What do you want from me? I like Sonic. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Draw a Baroque Sonic. Like
Sonic's not fine. I don't want to be
shaded.
fine.
Fuck, I should have. That would have been amazing.
Renaissance Sonic.
Yeah, if I went back to that school now with my brain, I would have fucking crushed it because it would have been just like shit take cartoon art.
God creating Sonic.
Yeah.
God touching
Go fast,
Yuji
my
Naka.
son. No.
Yes. Go fast, my son. Yeah.
Funnily, Neil, I apparently had the opposite experience. Apparently, when I was like really young, I didn't go to any fine art school or anything, but my mom would take me to, some like little kid art class, and they'd all get like an assignment where they have to like, I don't know, make a clock or something out of clay. And then my mom would come in and be like, "So Ari made a kite. He wouldn't do the project. We don't really know what to do with him." It's like, all right, I guess we're gonna have to take him out of this class.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't say whether or not that's a good or a bad thing because it's like you got to maintain your sense of identity a little bit. Like one thing that does suck about academia, I think kind of undeniably, is it has a tendency to like smooth out the edges that make people interesting.
Yes.
When it comes to like formal art education. So in some ways it's like I could see how that could be frustrating, but in other ways I could also say that you probably dodged a bullet because I don't know how like helpful it would be to somebody with as unique of a voice as you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't think that experience affected me too much one way or the other. I had pretty much only bad art classes up until like the past few years.
Oh sure, yeah.
I think that's more like how bad the class was. I think like a good art program, like a good art teacher would teach
bad
you.
Art classes are awesome.
Yeah, like it would teach you that you should break the
rules.
rules, but you have to know the rules first,
Whatever you want.
and then learn how to break.
I mean,
You know, like-
it was for little kids though. Like, haven't you been to like a wedding where they're just like, "All right, everybody, we're gonna teach you this really easy basic dance." even
Oh,
for
okay,
people who
yeah.
don't know how. And
Yeah, sorry. I was kind of still thinking of it in terms of like a more formal, like, yeah, thing. Yeah, no, totally.
like I was a baby. It's not
Yeah.
like I wish I was just like I want to find my own voice.
I thought you were saying that they like because of this experience, your parents like just didn't even bother sending you to art classes ever again.
Oh no. Just
Oh,
that
okay.
class.
Okay.
They were
okay.
they're like, I mean, the way this class is structured is we give all the students the specific tools to make a specific thing, and your son isn't doing those things.
Oh, well, that sounds like you're a
You
great
paint by
artist.
numbers.
Oh.
That's been a constant in my relationship with the art classes too. But like sometimes every once in a while, one in every four of them would be like the teacher being like the coolest motherfucker ever. Like even in high school and just encouraging all of my fucking ghoul shit. Like my freshman in high school art teacher um was like this chill ass older white lady, clearly, probably a hippie who was as much of a pothead, as I ended up being eventually. But like fucking she saw that I was really into anime, and like the other artsy kids kind of would be like, "Oh yeah, like you can clearly draw, but like you're not that good because you only draw like anime kind of looking shit." And that teacher was very much like, "No, are you kidding? Like, do you know how much skill it takes to like do this too? Like realism is not any better than like anime. Like people clearly care about this stuff and like they put a lot into it." And she was like, "Yo, like if you spend a lot of time doing this, this is just as valid as any other type of art." And I like really appreciated
yeah.
that. Oh, I was 14.
That's sick.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with the artsy side of
Do it.
technical prowess, and this is just my own experience. I don't think this is like the way every artist's path should be, but something that I've noticed semi-recently is that there's like a good chunk of my life, at the very most 10 years maybe, like 17 to 27, where I don't think my drawing skills improved much at all. Like it was all kind of the same looking stuff. And I remember kind of like not thinking I needed to get any better either. I was like it was like, yeah, I only want to do cartoony stuff forever.
Yeah.
And so I don't need to I don't want to work on this any further. And I do remember at the same time though, there was, I think, a very subconscious insecurity. I just didn't want to experience being around other people who were technically better than me. So I just convinced myself, no, I just don't want to be better. And then, but also, interestingly, I was also just, I think, my maturity was stunted. Like, my art was stunted, and I think my soul was stunted. I was not in a good place. And I think it's interesting to note that around the time I decided to get technically better is, I think, also around the time a lot of personal healing started to happen. So there is kind of this beautiful relationship one can have with, like, wanting their art to improve and wanting themselves to improve. And I talked earlier about trying to get these, like, wanting people to feel a specific way.
Yeah.
And, needing to improve your technical abilities to do that. As I matured, my ideas matured too. I was no longer just like, what if a banana came? But it was like, what if a banana came and he also, like, had trauma? And, like, things got a little deeper in my imagination, and I needed the skills to make it work. So that's where I think technical skills really can, you can have this kind of like samurai-esque relationship with drawing, whereas you mature as an artist, you mature as a person.
I completely agree with that. I've experienced that too, actually. Like, and Kill Wolfie's kind of like a result of it. Like it's because I before the first Kill Wolfie cartoon was made to attract. It was the first thing I ever made for the intention of attracting storyboard work. I had never done that before this, and it wasn't something that I took extra seriously. But it ended up becoming more indulgent, like over time. In that, like my relationship with it was, I didn't feel like I was doing a great job in like the fucking TV animation scene or whatever, like compared to like people I knew. And I felt like there was always something I was missing. And the shit like Kill Wolfie was something that I did to basically be like, fuck you, I don't need you to tell me how I can get better. Like, I'm not gonna wait until I get to a fucking studio to like have them tell me how to get better. Like, I see all these artists around me, I see what they're doing that is more skilled than me, and I can just watch them and just do this shit how I feel like it. So it like in some way, my art became way more technical since I started working in TV, because I was using it to attract work. Because like before this, I was thrashing out fucking like 20 minutes of animation a year just apropos of nothing, like just because I felt like it, and I didn't ask myself if it looked good or whatever, really. But like I always got that shit done. But like when I started making shit like Kill Wolfie and like doing full frame animation, like really taking it all seriously, there was this like feeling of like fuck you to people who I thought were rejecting me based on like my lower skills, you know, like, so that it became, in that sense, like it became a part of myself to do this really technical thing because of personal feeling and a personal indulgence.
Yeah. Wow. So would y'all, would you guys like agree to the idea that maybe this is kind of a spectrum of?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, yeah, because it seems like if you go too far in either direction, it could be just like equally debilitating. Like this is kind of a. This is kind of like.
Sorry,
go ahead, dude. No. Sorry.
We were defining like both ends of the spectrum of just like what is truly absolutely indulgent, like this person is completely ignoring the old masters, versus the person who's like completely dictated by like the teachings.
Yeah.
That was a really fun combo, because on one end you have Viper, on the other you might have I'm actually trying to think of like who's the most technically sound rapper right now.
Aesop Rock.
Wow! Oh shit!
Aesop Rock.
You just done it, yeah.
Noon, but that's just because bias.
And I'm gonna drive over to your neighborhood and catch you walking down the street, nigga. No, I'm just playing. I love it.
How dare you?
That's my second favorite.
Who's your first? Oh, King Sosa, of course.
Aesop, baby. Aesop.
Oh.
Aesop, Doom, and Milo, or Rat Ferreira now, like, are my trinity of fucking like favorite rappers. They're all equal in my opinion.
All of them bad. Lil B, Viper, shut up. Viper, and who is that? Tom Hanks' son.
I like Bob Bunny. I like Korn. I like Slipknot.
I like Korn.
They're my favorite rappers. Oh yeah, Kid Rock. Kid Rock's my favorite rapper.
Okay, you went too far. You took it too far.
I love
it's not
Kid
funny
Rock
anymore.
Kid Rock's based.
No, not at all.
No, not in the
No,
slightest.
not at all.
What's
the opposite of
Tennessee?
Free falling.
It's not a
tell me how to live. Oh God, fucking awful.
God.
Wait, what's the verdict on if he stole that werewolf song?
Wait, he did what?
I don't know, because he like wrote a summer anthem, and it's basically it's not even basically, it's just 100% werewolves in London.
Oh, it's just werewolves in London, like on top of fucking Sweet Home Alabama. It fucking blows. It's so bad.
So I see we're now on the fully technical end of the spectrum with Kid Rock.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm talking about virtuosity.
Yeah,
A committee created this man.
Yeah.
He's all technicality, but no voice, you know? No, it's just all like, all right, it's amazing, it's well produced, it's like incredible music theory, but like, where are you?
Where are you in this? Kid Rock, absolutely the most technically skilled rapper of all time.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, there's like
Is
wank
Robert
rapping.
James Ritchie?
So
Is he?
Here's like an interesting wrinkle in this conversation, though, is like, where does popularity fall on this spectrum? Because, like, a lot of the time, the art that we have to look at is like art that has been put in front of us because of, you know, advertising, money behind it, all that stuff. And that's where a lot of art discourse tends to happen, is around like kind of spectacle pieces of art. And I guess Kid Rock brought me there in the sense that despite the fact that his music is garbage, we all know Kid Rock.
Right.
Does that have any effect at all? Like in terms of quality, is like somebody, like enough people got together and liked a thing. Is pop music by definition like there was this really interesting debate that I learned about between Herbie Hancock and Wynton Marsalis, who are like two legends of the jazz world. Like Marsalis played with Hancock, and they were great friends, but they had this debate about when Marsalis was literally like, there's like, pop music is not real music. It is a product that is just produced to you know, sell shit, and that's it. Like it literally has nothing to do with artistic expression. And Herbie Hancock, he's the guy that wrote fucking Chameleon, like he's not a stranger to pop friendly fucking music. Wait, no, what was that other song that he did? He like invented scratching. Shit, he had like a fucking, like, he won a Grammy. But like, he's very much on the opposite side of Rocket. That's the song that he did that like won a Grammy. So he's like on the pop charts. Like he thinks pop music is awesome. He thinks part of the appeal of art is reaching as wide of an audience as possible, which kind of means that you are kind of willfully taking out, or at least like not letting your ego be an obstacle to somebody else's enjoyment. Like,
Profit.
Profit for sure is a huge motivator, but it's like there are people who legitimately find artistic fulfillment in reaching as many people as possible. So that's how you've got things like Nintendo and Studio Ghibli and you know, Disney movies, where it's like the appeal for people who take those, you know, movies seriously, and for the people who make them who actually are invested in what they're doing. Usually it's because they find the appeal of reaching as many kids as possible and being like an inspirational thing in their lives is like kind of the point. Yeah. So like, to us, I think a lot of that like rubs us the wrong way because it's like kind of work by committee, or something about like trying to broaden your appeal kind of like seems to devalue the art form a little bit, just kind of intuitively, because you're like, well, then what the hell are you doing? Like, you're not really expressing yourself, you're trying to just make people happy.
Yo, I have thoughts on this. So, I consider that to be a technical pursuit. I consider that to be a pursuit of quality, because quality is, like you said, often measured in responses from the beholder. So,
sure,
you know, if there are certain rules to writing and animating and designing and filmmaking in a way that is meant to capture as many people's attention as possible, that is more or less a result of or driven by a technical pursuit, in my opinion. It is not, like sometimes, however, popularity can be a part of an indulgent pursuit as well, because like then you get people who are like, you know, shock rocker types or like fucking influencers, you know, like those types of people who like the reaching a big audience is something that they are doing for their ego, in which case that can kind of count as self-indulgence. So it just kind of depends on like what the goal is. Same as I guess with everything else, you know, being able to reach a wide audience is an art form. Like the reason, like I try, like even though I make, you know, gay furry shit that is very self-indulgent, I am kind of challenging myself to make it as interesting to straight non-furries as possible. There is something like I know people can look at my shit and be like, oh, this nigga probably got a fucking foot fetish. You know, this nigga probably he probably draws fur porn. He probably fucking does this, you know, or yada yada. But if there's a way, like with like, you know, I love things that are not related to that also, such as like fight scenes. Like fight scenes are like not related to that indulgence. And I tend to care about like the technicalities when it comes to like fucking choreographing a fight or an action scene.
Yeah.
And that to me is a way of reaching. Not only is it something I genuinely enjoy doing and would do if nobody was looking, but I also like the fact that it sometimes makes straight people who are not fucking internet ghouls look at my shit, you know?
Hell yeah.
Also, if I might interject, Tarantino's kind of an example of indulgent, technically sound and popular.
Yes.
Slash money backed. I don't know. I have a better term for it.
Yes.
Studio produced. There we go.
Yeah. No. Totally. I mean, he's kind of like from a time where being popular and being artistic were not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Like we kind of live in sort of an opposite world right now, where like the more popular you are, it seems to be almost entirely based on how well you can politically schmooze through the studio system.
Yeah.
Like there legitimately was a time where talent did, and not that all talented people were guaranteed success, but most of the successful people that lasted or had lasting impressions had talent as like a bare minimum of entry, I think. I don't know. I mean, that could be like a real head-assed way of saying, I was born in the wrong generation. But like, I don't know. Like, there is, I think, like, in rap, for instance, like, there is kind of this, like, I don't want to say an objective standard, because, like, you've got rappers who are kind of, like, you know, sort of popular based almost entirely on the fact that they can just create a vibe, like Drake.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like Drake is just like superhumanly popular because, I mean, sometimes dudes just need to fucking cry about how much they hate their ex. I guess, and that's a vibe that's really popular. And you know, somebody's got to make music for fuckboys, and it might as well be him, and it's cool.
I'm curious about what the overlap in Drake stands and furries. I'm very because
find out.
I am really glad that you waited. I was almost spat out my drink on that last shit, like all over my fucking tablet. Wait, what were you about to say, Devlin? Wait, what?
What?
You were about to say the crossover between Drake fans and furries?
Yes. Okay,
how many of you niggas furries who are fucking watching me are fucking Drake fans? Also, thank you, God Onero. Wait, you are a furry, but you're not a gay furry though. And I don't really be looking at like furry shit that's like too fucking straight myself, you know, unless it's got like some weird shit.
Dude, how popular is Drake with gay dudes? Like,
oh,
is he? I mean, he's like,
I'll never be hearing about no. I don't think I've ever heard another gay man gush about Drake.
Want your pussy?
I guess it's because his music is so just like aggressively straight that it's
Yes.
just kind of like there's just no appeal in it for anybody because it's I don't know.
It's almost just straight
girls
music.
love Drake.
Hmm?
But girls love Drake.
Girls are
Oh
straight.
yeah, girls love Drake.
Yeah,
All girls.
that's true. Girls are straight.
Hashtag all girls are
Yo, hashtag all girls are straight.
I guess I'm generalizing, but I guess I was like, the music at the club that generally gets straight girls dancing, I also see gay guys dancing too.
Mm.
Yeah, they tend to be like, I mean, gay guys tend to be in the fucking like, kind of like pop and diva-ish. They are either into like pop diva music or they are into obscure shit that nobody thinks about. There's never any fucking in between. Either they have some really specific thing they like.
I love the association with house music and gay culture. That's my favorite gay music.
Hell yeah. Agreed. I need more gay punk in my life though. I know it fucking exists.
Oh fuck! There was this great, man. There was this really amazing like gay rock duo that I fucking loved, but they got canceled because the fucking lead singer was kind of a creep. So I guess I won't even bother.
No.
Yeah. But man, yeah, no, like queer punk is so fucking cool. Because it's like, what is more punk, honestly?
Than
like
butt fucking another dude. Exactly.
So our spectrum is becoming kind of like a political chart now. Like we're gonna have quadrants of are you
I mean, like
technical, trying to pursue.
So.
Oh man, here we go. Let's go.
I mean, in general, it's like who does have kind of beliefs that there's such a thing as like objective quality? You know, it's like it's people who think that the institutions that grade quality are correct. So it's like most of the time, if people are leaning on like technical facts or technicality in terms of like this art is objectively good, they usually have the backing of like the hegemonic like you know, structure behind them. Like
okay, but also who invented a pencil? Was it God or was it us?
No, well, wait, I'm confused. What do you mean?
Like, I'm saying, like, we made up drawing or music. You know, like all the tools used to make this stuff we made, and so then we also made the rules of those things too.
Well, okay, but here's the thing: when you say we, it's there's a broad like swath of human beings who don't use pencils for art. You know what I'm saying?
I just mean the tool. Let's go with a guitar, right? Like there could be someone who I hand a guitar and they say, I don't want to study this at all. I'm going to figure it out because I don't want to be limited by someone else's forms. And I'm like, okay. And I would think probably like 1 in every 1,000 people would make something that I liked with that method. But for the most part, no. I think most people are going to need to look at the manual that came when someone invented that tool to be used kind of in a specific way.
Well, okay, sure, but okay, so I'm glad you brought up music though, because like music theory is one of those areas where it's kind of like notoriously got a background, or at least has had issues with white supremacy, because like that's what I was getting at. It's that there is a objective standard that we all just kind of like passively accept as good music, like the rules of the instrument. So like by rules of the instrument, like you could be meaning that like, oh, this person plays in a you know, chromatic scale, plays in a major key, you know, do re mi fa sol la ti do, like that's
for the record, some of my favorite keys are black keys, so I just don't want to be accused of any
of course.
But like
calm down, brother.
Yeah. But like you've got like a lot of music that like doesn't fit in those scales at all. Like you've got like traditional like Indian music that in the West would be considered like atonal.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. Yeah.
you know,
Where
it's
does
like-
Death Grips fall there? Yeah.
Death Grips is objectively perfect in every way.
Agreed.
Doctor, thank
Agreed.
you.
Oh man.
Well, like,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
so I know that like there are fretless guitars, but most guitars have frets, and
Yeah.
that like that alone, it kind of like, what am I saying here?
It implies
there's-
a standard.
Yes, there's a sandbox laid out
Yeah,
already
no,
for you.
No, totally. But
Yeah.
then there's the thing is like you've got a lot of artists who have you ever seen like prepared guitar?
No, what's that?
It's where people literally take guitars and they modify the fretboard. They rip the frets out and put them in weird locations specifically to achieve microtonal sounds. Like microtonal guitars are like fascinating to look at because the fretboard is like put in really specific locations to achieve a certain hertz. And like
You know, I'm gonna hit the kind of cliche like know the rules before you break them, but do you think that the people who do that probably first like spent a lot of time learning the rules essentially, and then
course.
yeah,
But then like there's also musicians who just make fucking badass punk music and kind of suck at tuning their guitars.
that's
and-
true.
And then they end up with kind of like a similar sound. Like there's this amazing album by what's his name? Captain Beefheart called
Oh yeah, that weirdo.
Yeah, Trout Mask Replica. That is like this incredible album where for anybody who doesn't know, Captain Beefheart was this like crazy musician back in the 70s. He was like friends with Frank Zappa. And there was this album where he's like the front runner of this band and he doesn't know shit about music. Like he's literally some kind of like outsider musician who just got really popular with a bunch of like other musicians in the 70s. And Trout Mask Replica is like a bunch of like really well-trained, like seasoned, like session musicians sweating their ass off trying to play this insane music that this like crazy person came up with. Like it's incredible. I highly recommend it to anybody who like really wants to test the limits of your ears. But it's like it's not objectively good, but it is like I guess I'm getting into like back into the part of like self-indulgent versus like standardized. We're just talking about music now because it is kind of everywhere, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
If we can stay on punk, I do find not all, but a lot of punk bands that I know, which I don't know many to be honest, they tend to get progressively more technical throughout the course of their career.
Oh, do you think it's kind of just because as they, the more they play, just the more they kind of gain, like, an understanding? Or,
I don't
like,
know.
a deeper understanding, maybe?
I mean, what I'd like to believe is what I touched on earlier, which is that they just have bigger ideas, maybe more emotional ideas. I don't know, and they just something in them feels like they got to take it a step further, and so they go, how do I do that? And they they look what the masters did.
Maybe.
It's always going to be a back and forth with that. It's never going to be perfectly one way or another. Although I will say, a lot of people have said learn the rules before you learn to break them, and that is the opposite how I have learned to do everything, and the only thing that resulted from it was me being cocky as fuck with art. So, you know, like, it's not, you can, like, do that, but, like, I think it just depends on, like, the time that you're willing to put in. Whether you start with rules or whether you start on your own and just do whatever the fuck you feel like doing, the only thing that will grow you as an artist is to just keep making art. You know, so if you do that, they do start to, you know, they'll send people in different directions, but the important thing is that they are driven to keep doing it for something.
I think Yeah, in a way, I think it kind of comes down to like how much does it bother you that the rules were set up by, how much does it bother you that there are supposed rules?
Yeah.
Like does it, and like one of the things that bothers me about the rules is that I don't often like who gets to decide those rules because it's
Yeah.
usually, majority rule when it comes to things like that, because art isn't really a science. So, it's kind of like whatever the mainstream says goes. So like you've got that guy on Twitter the other day who was like, you can't consider yourself an animator unless you've read the,
Yeah.
and then it's like the picture of like the animator survival guide,
Fucking dude. Oh god, I was roasting that dude for fucking
Very
days.
cringe.
That was a good stupid Twitter pitchforking. I had a good time.
I have a good
Pretty
anecdote.
good. Go on. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, just jumping on the idea of like rules. I'm gonna open up a new medium that's not music or animation, but improv. Because some of you guys know I did the UCB improv stuff for a long time, and UCB compared to all the other schools is kind of infamous, depending on who you're talking to, for being the most rule heavy. They make you buy a big old textbook. It's very cerebral at first.
There's a textbook on improv?
There is a textbook on improv.
That seems like a
manual.
fucking oxymoron.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of discourse on this. There are people who think like that's so stupid and unfun. For some people, I would put myself in this camp. It makes it a lot more fun. Because if I just get two people who've never done any improv, and I'm just like, all right, make up a scene, go. 9 out of 10 times, they're just gonna have a fight. They're gonna have a fight, like a fake fight, because they're nervous. So they're gonna freak out, and it's gonna be the most awkward thing you've ever seen, because they weren't given tools. They weren't given this kind of like format and structure to do it in. And when just like the groundwork, when you just have like a sort of structure and form, then that's where you get to impose your style of comedy over it.
But check this shit out though.
Okay.
Yo, you put a motherfucker who is extremely fucking confident and doesn't care if he's funny to other people, which makes him funnier. And like he walks into that shit with his big comedy dick and steals the show because of that confidence or whatever. There's a lot of cats who have been like this, like who have done really well, not adhering to the fucking rules. And honestly, like the inspiration to like where to take an improv scene, I feel like could come from either one of these places, but that it would have had to have come from a place of genuine confidence and good socialization, or from knowing the rules of the game. It's Mugen versus Gene,
That person you've explained, I've met many of them, and no one likes to do improv with them, and so they don't really stay in the scene very long.
Damn. Well, that's sad to hear.
Improv
well, I mean,
etiquette.
sorry. It's the reason why is because, like, let's say I'm doing a scene with that person, and I signal to them like, hey, here's my idea. I'd like, it involves me kind of being weird. So I'm gonna gesture this at you to really signal you that like what I've said and done is an incredibly unusual thing, and I want you to react to that like a normal person would. And instead they go, uh-oh, my dick turned into cheese again. Well, I guess the scene's about that now. And then that happens about 5 more times that show, and you say, hey, I never want to do improv with that person again.
Yeah, that sounds like a completely plausible Faustian bargain for that level of confidence.
Just to draw another parallel to music again, that kind of sounds like in a jazz. I don't have a background in jazz, by the way. I'm just a fan. But it's like if you imagine in like I mean, jazz is a very like improvisational medium, right? So it's like if you have this like improv like fuck, what's the word when you're just like savant, who's just like incredible at like their own brand of comedy but can't play well with others. That's like a jazz musician who refuses to do anything but solo. Like,
Yep.
if you have like a song that's just nothing but guitar solos back to back forever, you'll just fucking turn it off because there's no like there's nothing to grab onto, there's no structure. I mean, some people might be into it, but go ahead.
That metaphor is perfect. I'm gonna yes and you. Hey.
Whoa.
And it's like a guitar soloist soloing, but not even in time with the drummer.
Oh Jesus!
Just completely playing to the beat of his own drum.
Oh man, this sounds like Trap Master replica.
And like this sounds like the plausible idea of what this would be like. Nobody, like, y'all don't ever get anybody who just walks in with no experience, but they're also like humble and genuinely self-aware enough to where like they won't cause a ruckus in that way, to where they are listening and are cooperating, but they just don't know dick.
I think that's the definition of knowing the rules so you can break them, because the rules would be being courteous and like, you know, like allowing other people to take the spotlight for a second, right? Like I'm sure that
I'll give you the overly technical example, and I've been this person. It's called the robot when you play like this.
Okay.
Well, I mean, so like if you know, like I could. So there's two ways to go about how to do this badly. So I come out stiff like a board, and I just say like, "Hey, Kalen, my brother, we are in the woods right now doing this activity. I feel this way about it." And I like just, you know, I'm just not acting at all. I'm just laying out the groundwork of who we are, where we are, and what we're doing. And then I wait for you to yes and me. You just yes me, and then now I'm mad at you because you didn't and. So I'm just like now mad. And then I'm like, all right, now we have to get to an unusual thing. And I just say the first thing that comes to my mind. I'm just like, well, I think it's a good idea to sleep right now in the daytime. And you don't even know that I'm trying to be weird. You're just like, yeah, sure, just trying to yes and me. And now I'm more mad at you because you clearly didn't pick up on my technical sign of a gift. And so then I start having a fight with you because I'm anxious on stage. And that's how a bad technical player might go about, because I'm mad that you didn't do the right thing. I don't adapt to you.
All right, I'm sorry. Can you give me a quick technical definition of yes anding? It's not that I don't. I feel like I understand 75% of yes and.
Yeah, so like yes anding would be, you know, if I'm like, man, that dog is so cute. If you were to yes and, you'd be like, oh, I know. Look at its like little ears, and like its big tail. You've added details to it. It has little ears and a tail. If you just go, yeah, it's cute, all you've done is yes me. If you go, no, it's not, that's a cat, then you've completely knowed me, and you've ruined the scene.
I would laugh. I'm interested in this story. Wait, that could be a yes and, because it's like, oh god, oh no, am I having another episode?
Yeah, has anybody ever strategically no-butted in the middle of an improv thing and it actually worked?
I'm sure.
Or like had a fucking fight where like y'all are like trying to fucking embarrass each other by like knowing each other over and over again. Like, could that not create a really dope scene? Is that
like
not a form of
improv?
Me and Rocky would do that for fun in our own like just private practice sessions. We would just like we started a scene and be like, God, I'm tired. No, you're not. You're right. I'm not tired. I don't know why I said that. That was just like a recurring bit that we would do with each other, and it made us laugh.
So
That
it's
sounds like
one
good
person
improv.
no buts, and then
Right.
the other person yes ands to bring it back. That's awesome. That sounds like you're changing
really
up the
good.
time signature of the song or some shit.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
Can I-
dark
Can I-
improv. Go for it.
What?
So I don't do improv, but I went to an improv show once.
dabbling.
There was 4 guys, and one of them, like, they all introduced themselves and like what their actual job is, and one came up and is like, I don't know,
Shit break.
I'm not funny and I don't belong here. Nothing funny this, and like that was how he introduced
Hello?
himself,
We can hear you.
and then
Oh, God, he's encrypted.
Yo.
Whoa, what happened?
Wait, what? Wait, I missed the end of this story. Wait.
Yeah, it got farty in this audio.
there. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, say
Yeah,
that story one more
what?
time. I wanna know.
Right. So I go to this improv show, and it's like 4 guys doing improv, and they're all coming up at the start of the show to introduce
Can y'all
themselves.
hear him? Or am
Yeah, I hear him.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Can you guys?
I can't. Shit.
Oh.
The
Oh.
fuck?
I wonder why you were like talking over him. I was like, wait, it sounded like you didn't know you were still on the call.
Sounds like you're a bad improv partner, talking
Fuck,
over
I'm
the other
sorry,
person
no
like
butt.
that.
Stop
You're
knowing Arvin.
Yes, and
It's because I have him muted for some reason? Arvin, I'm
What the
sorry.
fuck?
I never muted you.
Wow.
What the
Wow.
Hi, I'm a dick. So I'm
No.
gonna say everything
Along
again.
what you eat.
Should I
All right, tell the
find-
story for the 3rd time.
Maybe.
Yeah, please tell us again, Arvin. I'm sorry.
Can everyone hear me though? Because I feel like some people don't even know I'm talking.
No, I can hear you.
I've just been ignoring.
I've been listening.
No,
I
no,
literally
no.
just had you muted. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyways, I was gonna say, yeah. So there's an improv show, and then one of the guys introduces himself like, "I'm not funny. I don't know how to do improv. I won't do anything funny this entire show." And that's how he introduced himself. And then the entire show, like, it was a funny show, but that specific guy never said or did anything funny the entire show. And then at the end of the show, like, they all get up and bow, and he goes up and bows. And that moment, I found it so hilarious. Like, because he, like, yes, you did it. You were right. I thought that was. I'm not sure if that was like the whole point of his joke or
That's
what, but
really fucking funny.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
to say, because like then you're just kind of watching him with that expectation, and he's LARPing as a person who has no idea what the fuck he's doing. I like that. Like, honestly, the instant you said that, I was like, oh, that sounds funny. Like, to watch that.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think humor is very different when you're talking about like art and like objective quality, and like humor is one of those things that's so severely subjective, and it's also the
Uh-oh. Now you kind of went out.
Okay,
something's going.
Y'all can hear that too, right?
Wucky. Yes.
Terrible.
And just when he hit like a point, because like
Can you guys not hear?
comedy. No, I hear you. We hear,
Now we can.
Yeah.
hear you now.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Fuck. Hold on, Arvin. It's getting bad again. Can you dip and then come back?
Yeah, sure.
What are you hearing?
I'm hearing like.
You know what? I bet that's me. My phone was next to my preamp. I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Get him.
It was me.
Get him.
It was
Get him.
me.
Kick him
Oh.
from the conversation.
Guess I'm the
Kick him
bottom. Guess everybody.
Get Garfield.
Everybody's gonna have to step on me. Ooh woo. I'm gonna get miniaturized, and you're all gonna be giants, and you're gonna step on me. Ooh woo.
Why do you say that? Why do you say
Love.
Yeah, you made
What?
it weird. I don't want to step on you anymore.
Yeah, what the fuck? We were gonna stomp you, but now you're like gonna come.
Oh, please don't stalk me. Ooh woo. Oh, please.
All right, this is a good improv scene.
Y'all, this is awesome. You hear
Actually,
this?
well, actually, so this is what I would do as a technically good improviser, but a bad improviser, which is that it's not like a written rule, but it's kind of like a known rule that kinks don't make good unusual games for scenes, because kinks are the thing people have. If
Yeah.
anyone's like, hey, why do you like to put hamburgers in your mouth like that? And you're like, oh, it's because it turns me on. There's not a lot to do with that because that's not really unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know
all
what I
you can
mean?
do in response to that is kink shame them for comedy, or like
Yep.
maybe ask, like, I guess
Ah.
like you could, if you go like a friendlier route, like oh, you know, I think I might be into that too. Can you tell me like how you got started with this? Like, are there others
Or-
of us?
Yeah.
Or alternatively, kink in places where kink shouldn't, like kink in a Target.
There
Yeah.
have been scenes where someone's tried, you know, I did something unusual, and someone tried to label me with like the gift of like, oh, that's right, that's your kink, and I'll just be like, no, that's how it started, but now, and like I'll just try to like know that, and then later the coach will be like, hey, you know them that gift, and I'm like, because it was a kink. It's not a good gift. It's not a
Ari,
good game.
that's brutal, bro. Damn.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
You
also,
know the nigga.
there was a point made earlier that now is my turn to argue. Where yes,
God.
comedy, like what's scary, is subjective, but there is a technical like amount to it where like, how do I put this? The later, what the fuck are those films called? Those found footages of ghost movies.
Oh, Paranormal Activity.
Think Paranormal Activity 7 versus The Shining, where there's like something that someone said like, oh yeah, this is right, this is technically correct, I put the jump scare in the right place, who gives a shit? Then you have The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, not Stephen King's, because he made a film so like based to him, where even the guy who wrote the book was like, what the fuck, this isn't my book no more, you fat bastard. So, or like with, I think comedy can also like think, if we're gonna go like indie comedy, there's someone who is taking it very seriously. Like what this motherfucker animated a full sick animation, for instance, I think is like,
Oh hell yeah.
he's doing a joke, but then you have like lol random spaghetti person who, like, they're also making a joke, and it's
Yeah.
also not like technically sound.
Yeah.
But like one person cares more than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I like, to me, like, I think sick animation is a person who does kind of like whatever the fuck he wants because it made him laugh. Because I feel like I can see the real life situations that inspired certain cartoons that he made. You know, everything that's in them is so specific. Like Tanya, you know, just like woman at a party. She's dressed like somebody's fucking grandma, but she's 20 just like everybody else, and she's there trying to get laid. And she got a friend who's trying to help her with that, who's kind of more hip and modern, you know, but like this girl, like we've all seen like old people who are our age, you know, people who had like an old soul, trying to just get laid in a modern setting with very modern, trashy teenagers. And
I'm too mature for all these boys.
yeah, and she's mad off-putting, but like she doesn't even know that shit. But maybe she has a little bit of charm on her own anyway. Like it's so specific. It feels like it was inspired by something real. People don't just sit
Human
down and think
faces.
that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that real thing being market demographics of hipsters who are attracted to that archetype.
I will fucking fight you in an alley, my nigga. Immediately on sight, nigga. Don't let me catch you at Chili John's, nigga.
Here's another example of like effort versus like technicality skill, but like Steven Crowder has very high production values.
Oh yeah.
He is objection like, even I would even say conservatives don't find him funny. They'll nod in agreement and go like, yeah, that is a weird thing, but like no one's lauding him as a good comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking hack, but he's a rich hack. I think what you're kind of pointing out is like, I mean, honestly, I don't think it really, not to say that there is, you know, truly something that can disqualify something from being art. But if there was, phoning it in is definitely one of those fucking things. Like, if you lean on tradition or lean on well-trodden material, like Scary Movie 11 or Steven Crowder just literally saying fucking YouTube comments on stage like he came up with them, then you're just kind of like, you're not really being an artist, you're just a con artist.
A content artist.
Yeah, literally. Like fucking Carlos Mencia stole like half of George Lopez's jokes and then just did them again, but then said the R slur more. And then it was like, okay, cool, that's my thing. And then it's just like, all right, well, you didn't fucking do anything. Like, you literally just, I don't know. It's like art in the same way that, like, you know, somebody who can perfectly recreate, like, The Simpsons art style is an artist, I guess. It's like, I mean, you did it, but it's like, why? Like, I don't know.
Whoever made Futurama is a hack.
Yeah.
Comedy's too different from all the other things we're talking about. It's so much more subjective than like visual art or other things. And the other thing is that tying it back to art, like when you think about all the like animated stuff that we like watching that isn't well drawn or well animated, what is it that content is giving us? It's making us laugh. Like 9 times out of 10, if we like something that's like drawn in an ugly way, it's because we're laughing. Whether the artist is in on the joke or not. Like Kaylin and I just watched Elfenlied recently. We both love it, but
yeah,
it's not because it's making us like try or making us ask any questions. Like it's just
stuff in Elfenlied I genuinely like.
Well,
it's just hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious, and I don't think it was trying to be, but it sure is, right? And I think like Romeo Jr. or Sick Animation is the same thing. Like it wouldn't be as funny if the art was good. Like that's part of the joke. Like that's where like this whole conversation about objective quality versus subjective. I don't think you can throw comedy into that because comedy.
Oh, you totally can.
I can and will.
Yeah,
I absolutely will.
I think
like I think that like look at most like Commenticate earlier IDubs when he still did like skits. Hell, take just like I guess you like look like Scary Movie, for instance. Like as those go on, you can see like an effort to make something like it all just becomes like look at thing, recognize thing, instead of actually trying to make like there is a level of give a shit to comedy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
I think
like for instance, compare Bo Burnham, his stand-up versus someone like earlier Andrew Dice Clay when like before he became a character and was just a guy who said slurs. Yeah. Yeah. Steven Crowder's another example of someone who's just like, I'm a comedian because I tell it how it is. It's like, well, not really. Like, you're not really trying because you just said, ugh, pronouns. Am I right, fellas? It's like, well, that's not...
Bo Burnham, a performance artist, not a comedian, so I don't know how to move forward with this example.
Richard Pryor?
Yo, and also, too, can I just say, too, like, you know, I actually have a very profound appreciation for the academia behind comedy. And I know that's probably weird to hear me say, of all people, but like fucking like, I actually, a lot of the classical comedy academia, at least when it comes to filmmaking, not really with stand-up or performance so much, but like when it comes to filmmaking and cartoons, I really love like Looney Tunes and fucking goddamn like MGM's cartoons and shit like that, like fucking Country Wolf and fucking Tom and Jerry and like Droopy.
oh man,
God tier. Absolutely
Dude,
god
Droopy
tier.
is so good.
Droopy is amazing.
Yes, fucking yes.
Yes.
Oh my god, I
Like,
love Droopy Dog. Fuck yeah.
I love, and like all that stuff, like Popeye and shit, like the way that they did that comedy did have, it was very much in reference to like the academia of the time with like those, you know, cats like Charlie Chaplin and like all those motherfuckers, you know, like before them kind of inspired that timing. And like you can see Looney Tunes' formula in every scene. In everything it fucking does,
Yeah.
you can see where jokes are being set up, expectations are being set, traps are being laid for later at the end of the episode for the things that bugs or like whatever one of these niggas fucking says right before the loop closes. Like there's a ridiculous amount of technicality to the way that like Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, you know, like all those cartoons were kind of like structured and told cinematically. And I love that shit. Like I don't, it really, really gets me. And I might, you know, like I feel very inspired by it, I guess, with my comedy, you know, for some reason.
Oh, absolutely. No, I 100% agree with everything you said. Although to Arvin's point, I kind of noticed that a lot of the examples that we're giving in terms of like great comedy is it's comedy that's existing in mediums outside of just pure acting based like comedy, like or like stand up, like you know, Andrew Dice Clay, as hacky and gimmicky as he was a stand up comedian specifically. So like and I think that like, you know, Droopy and fucking Tom and Jerry and shit like that, they're incredible, but that's also animation. Which,
wait! Can I interject?
Go for it.
Because there are really technical comedies like this that were like really fucking high effort sorts of comedy like back in the day, and it was shit like Airplane, you know, like Airplane was like a really high, like some real fucking high effort comedy, nigga.
Every frame a joke.
Yes, it was very
even in the
deliberate, deliberate. The timing was great, and let us not mince words. Dr. Strangelove, come on!
Oh my god,
fucking Dr. Strangelove is the shit. That movie fucks. It's so fucking funny, and you wouldn't even know. Like going into it, you wouldn't even know that it was a fucking comedy. You just have to like keep seeing the masterful ways they set up like visual gags and like novel little like jokes in the filmmaking, in the compositions, not begging for laughs, not winking at the camera, but knowing that what they're doing is working, like with confidence. The way they delivered it is fucking fantastic.
Oh, dude.
Instead of looking over their shoulder going, do you think I'm funny?
Yeah!
Oh my god, dude. Fucking like Three Amigos. There's like a scene in Three Amigos that still fucking destroys me every time I see it. And it's like, it's the scene where they like fucking go up and they find like a, there's like a singing bush out in the desert. And the three of them like pull up on like their three horses in a line. I'm gonna ruin it by fucking. You know what? I'm not gonna describe it.
I've never seen this movie.
Me neither.
It's fucking hilarious. I mean, it's like Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Chevy Chase, and it's from that like golden era of like visual comedy movies from like the 70s, like fucking Airplane, Naked Lunch. That shit's incredible. But again, that's a lot of that stuff is incredible because of the elements that are lended from filmmaking. Like, not to say that we're no longer talking about comedy, because we are, but comedy is a genre of like every kind of art. Like, Bo Burnham makes comedy music. Fucking, you know, Naked Lunch is a comedy movie. Fucking Droopy is a comedy animation. Like, all these things are, like, I agree, transcendently amazing, and I love all of them. But, like, I think what Arvin might have been getting at earlier is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, if you're talking about, like, raw stand-up as an art form, or improv, where it's, like, two dudes in a stage, one person in a microphone, you know, like, what is that, like, how does that differ from other art forms? Because it's, like, it is hard to, like, One thing that I've noticed about stand-up, and maybe this is just me, but like, I feel like it ages really, really badly.
Yeah.
What about that?
it
What about that
can.
dude with the mallet?
Yeah. Oh, fucking no. Wait. Yeah, Gallagher.
Gallagher
Oh my
doesn't age.
God.
Gallagher doesn't
Gallagher-
fucking age.
Gallagher came back around.
Gallagher, stay good, nigga. Gallagher don't Gallagher.
Shit. He don't miss.
He don't
miss.
That nigga was
Are you
way
surely
funnier than I
serious?
fucking expected. That was
Bruh, Gallagher fucks, dude. Bad
Gallagher,
gamer.
Gallagher.
Gallagher,
fucks.
I'm so fucking serious.
Gallagher
Oh, dude,
fucks.
he absolutely, especially with
Gallagher ran so George Carlin could walk.
Pour one out for Gallagher.
and his twin brother, Gallagher.
Gallagher.
Gallagher. That, do you know about that? That like he actually had a twin who just like went around doing his
Yeah.
shit?
That's awesome. Good for them.
Yeah, fucking amazing. Yeah.
Early Simpsons is like textbook comedy.
It is
Like,
so good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we got off track.
Futuramas.
I
fuck
think
yeah.
what I'm trying to get at is that as like a form of entertainment, like as a form of enjoying something, comedy, or in particular, or like us like getting to the point where you're laughing and like that part of your brain is getting tickled, is so, first of all, so much more subjective than like something like whether something looks nice in terms of how well drawn it is. And then the other thing is that there's so many different ways to get there. Like you can list like these masterful comedies, but then what about like The Room, which like is just hilarious. Like first time I watched The Room, I laughed just as hard as when I watched Airplane. But
Or-
I knew The Room was coming up.
yeah, like just,
Yeah,
like,
it should.
so many ways to be funny, whether you wanted to or not. And quality, you can take it or leave it. Like that could be part of the ingredient, but there's so many ways to make that cake. Whereas like if you're trying to get your audience to like feel something else, like really get them thinking or really change the way they look at something, or like make them appreciate something, you're not going to get there unless you have that technical push, like that captivation ingredient to it. Where comedy, there are a million roads to comedy. They all make you spit your drink if you get there, and half the time it's by accident, and it's still just as good. So like,
The Room.
I want to bring The Room up for a specific reason regarding this conversation, and technicality versus indulgence.
I'm gonna be right back, by the way.
Okay. Which is that, yes, The Room is hilarious, and you could look at it as an example of just like, who cares about technicality or your intention or whatever? It just makes people happy, and it's all good and valid and true. Another way you could look at it, though, is that I would argue that most people who enjoy The Room because they understand the rules of film, and in order to enjoy it, it's because those rules are being broken and you're aware of that. Someone who's never seen a movie before and saw The Room wouldn't find it funny. They just think it was weird and uncomfortable.
Would they though, or would it be striking?
Or it could be visually
I have
beautiful,
watched
who
The Room
knows?
with people who completely, like, they I guess they weren't in quote unquote in on the joke, because they just like kept looking at me like, when does it get good? And it was like, it doesn't. For watching
Exactly.
this.
You want me to tell the honest to God truth? I have to say something about The Room. I have to admit something.
Okay.
Me, 13, 14 years old, Flint, Michigan, in my basement, watching Adult Swim. I wake up, I fall asleep, I wake up in the middle of the night, The Room is on. I watch The Room. I watch this drama unfold. I was like maybe like 20 minutes into the movie, and I sat there at 13 years old just watching this movie to the end. And it actually got me interested in the story on some emotional level. And then when the movie ended, I was like, that was a good movie. Man, Adult Swim must have showed that because because like it was just good, and like it just didn't have a lot of money, and because it's punk or whatever, and
that's not crazy to me. That's because like yeah, there is a fiery flame of passion and anger and trauma underneath that movie.
It is
It's
so
clear
genuine.
that Tommy Wiseau is a tortured man.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, your vocabulary of film just wasn't that rich yet. And then when it got there, when you did sort of understand more the form and structure and rules of film, that movie's then hilarious. That's kind of my whole point.
Yeah. Well, like that's two different ways to enjoy it, but like that shit never left me though. Cause like I fuck with some shit. I need the things I watch to be suicidally genuine.
He is so indulgent. He is on the King Sosa Viper ends of indulgence.
Yes. That is what I love. That's what makes me come back to making shit. It's the shit that makes me come back to looking at shit. I need to see the fucking artist. Like it and like the fact that he was for real makes it very endearing.
Well, I mean, his passion was real, but I think I've read The Disaster Artist. I read the book by Greg, and that movie is a, how do I put this? It is a testament to his sense of delusion, if that makes any sense.
Fucking fair.
There is
he did not know how to
there's truth under the surface of that movie, but it's so distorted by lies.
I mean, well, that's kind of where art. Well, okay, but that's the thing about art, though. It's not a one-to-one communication. Like you can't. So one way to think about like objective quality is actually, I think, to frame it as, did the artist successfully communicate what they intended?
Yeah.
And
well, I would say he did not.
He did not. Yeah, in that
he did
sense.
Not.
In that sense,
he did not.
In that
Borat,
sense,
nice.
Fuck you.
Borat.
Eat a dick, nigga. Yeah, Borat. Sure.
Fuck. But he so no, he didn't succeed in that sense. That's the thing about art is a lot of the time, every time, literally 100% of the time, it's down to the audience whether or not it's good. Like, you can't, there's no goodness particle. You can't find, in a piece of art, you're not finding any, gene or fucking, immutable characteristic that makes art good. It's only good if the person watching it thinks it is. Fucking case in point, Kalen hates Guardians of the Galaxy. It doesn't matter how many dollars they put into it. It didn't matter how much fucking effort they put into it. That shit just did not stick to any part of his brain.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's it. Does that mean it's a bad movie?
No.
From Kalen's perspective, it might be, but that's just for Kalen. He wouldn't I don't my favorite Star Wars movie is the one where the guy got to say fuck Star Wars. I literally don't like Star Wars that much. So,
same.
And that's supposed to be the best movie, or
you mean the worst movie?
Yeah. So it's
Kalen disliking Guardians of the Galaxy is like Kalen disliking the new Big Mac from McDonald's.
There's a new Big Mac?
Yeah, I think.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the discussion about why many artists don't like the Marvel movies and what's wrong with the Marvel movies is such a big discussion that it almost warrants its own talk, because there's just so much to unpack there, why they exist, why they are the way they are, why they keep doing so well despite all their issues, and
I think talk about that sometime. I have a lot of opinions.
That's a big discussion, because that's basically the defining feature of our how cinema exists in our adult lives. It's just Marvel movies. It's all fucking Marvel movies. And why is it? And why are we tired of them? And why aren't they that good to so many people? But those are some there's a lot to unpack there. There's so much to unpack there, I think.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, for sure.
As soon as you start bringing up those Marvel movies, you're bringing up, there's just so much there. Like,
Well, I mean, I don't think they're beyond bringing into this discussion though, because it's like basically the answer is that they're the pop music of movies. Like, I don't begrudge anybody for liking the Marvel movies for the same reason I wouldn't begrudge anybody for liking fucking, you know, K-pop now. You know, it's like it's an industry created product to appeal to as wide of an audience as possible. That's why they're popular. Like
McDonald's.
Yeah, it's McDonald's. Like I
And
think
I love
McDonald's is
McDonald's.
delicious.
Same.
I think Marvel movies are entertaining. You know,
So-
like most people don't think they're great movies. I don't think most people think they're a fun way to kill like 2 hours. Like that, I think that's a fair assessment of like the average Marvel enjoyer.
And
I
you're-
guess.
and you're saying-
Disagree.
Because I was about to say, when you say great movies, you're talking about like compared up to like The Shining, Citizen Kane, you know,
Yeah.
like shit like that. Like he doesn't mean like a movie that's like, oh, is this movie great? Because to me, I think there are great Marvel movies. I really like the first Iron Man, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I
think that's a
love the
great
third
movie.
Iron Man. I think
Yeah.
the third Iron Man's like underrated as fuck as far as like movies
Real
that actually.
Kino's hidden here.
I don't
Sorry.
think the majority of Marvel fans regularly watch quote unquote good movies. I think a lot of them have seen a good movie, but I think most Marvel fans, they're not. Yeah, like anyone who has a Captain America T-shirt, you know.
Yeah,
Get him, get him, big dog. Get him, fat rat.
Wait, what?
Get him.
Wait, what? Go on.
Get him.
Go.
You a Marvel Mark.
I do love me a Marvel, but I will admit that it has been commodified. I mean, it's always been a commodity, but only recently is it just like tune in to Iron Man to watch Iron Man, the latest Iron Man adventure.
Yeah.
Let me backpedal a bit, because I know some.
Oh,
I know
no.
I have some. I have some friends who are big into the comics, and when they explain them to me, I'm like, "Oh, I completely understand why you fuck with this. That sounds
Yeah.
really cool."
Yeah.
I love
talking
hearing
about
Devlin
the
talk about it.
average- I'm talking about the average Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, and solely about the movies.
Yeah, them just like a middle America family consisting of a dad who still plays basketball with all the motherfuckers he went to high school with, and on the weekends they go for a beer and then they go watch Captain America.
Yeah, the daughter's favorite artist is still Katy Perry.
Yeah,
Good for her.
yeah.
Yeah, they.
This
What
deep
else?
into 2022.
Right. That's loyalty.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think Ash
Or,
likes
I don't
Katy
know.
Perry. No, they're gonna kill me if they don't.
Like,
like,
point is,
it's
yeah,
about
the favorite TV show's Family Guy.
I love Family Guy.
Like I'm picking
problem.
products. I'm picking products that are just sort of given to people, and they're like, "Yeah, this is good." Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of who I think love Marvel movies.
Yes.
I mean,
I don't
yeah,
need to seek out anything farther. Oh, this is based on a book, you say? A comic book? Oh, what a novel idea. Pictures
Yeah.
in a book.
You're saying this character was in Family Guy and now has his own show? All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah. I see it happen all the time, and like I go back and visit my family, and there's so much reverence for like entertainment and celebrities and like shows and shit, and like shows just come on and just have my name in the fucking credits. I'm sorry, I didn't say that to suck my own dick. I'm just saying like it feels like there's such a distance with like people who don't fuck with entertainment for work, and just like, or because they're like really into like making that type of art, like they're independent, creative or something, but like they don't think very deeply about media in the ways that a lot of like nerd people do.
I mean,
Interesting.
honestly, I don't know if I think about media that deeply while I'm watching it. Like I don't know if my my tastes are super like affected by there's something I'm super sensitive to, and it's like when something feels phoned in.
Yes.
Like that like a lack of genuine feeling is something that really trips my sensors, as well as like feeling like a movie was made by committee.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to hold their eyelids open Clockwork Orange style to experience the Chip and Dale movie, I think that's kind of like
you were
the
gonna
pinnacle.
say that, and I loved it.
I hated every fucking second of that movie in a way that I found like exciting. Like I've never been so angry at him. Like I've never wanted to fight a movie with my bare hands and like strangle it more than the fucking.
That's how Guardians of the Galaxy makes me feel.
Okay,
I thought that movie was fun.
With that said, Guardians of the Galaxy, that shit made me cry like several times. Like every time
I am not judging you. I think it's a perfectly, that movie is probably just as great as everybody said. It's just not for me. It's a type of comedy.
Totally.
It's my pet peeve.
I'm not even gonna say it's like great in the sense of like, oh yeah, it's in my top 10 like movies of all time or whatever. But in terms of like, I sat down to watch a movie to be entertained.
Yeah.
And I think I still just have access to that part of my brain, which I'm very grateful for, is like the pre-animation industry version of myself that just turns off and just watches something without trying to like predict where everything is going.
Yeah.
Like when I watch, yeah, like I don't go into it trying to like know how the sausage is made sometimes. Like,
yeah.
I just turn my brain off and just watch a movie like I'm still a kid in high school. And when that's the perfect mode, I think, for Marvel movies. It's like when the sad shit with the dads in those movies happens, I'm somebody who's susceptible to themes around fatherhood. So I'm just like, oh, the sad dad thing happened, and I cry. And it's kind of therapeutic, and I just like it. Like, I think that's a valid way to engage with art, you know?
Oh,
like,
everything, everywhere, all at once with the fucking gay kid and the mom shit, bro. You think I know.
And when Chip and Dale rapped, that was awesome.
Oh my god!
I can't look at you like this.
Cool.
To what you said, Capsule.
Yes.
About Neil. I don't know. Oh, sorry.
Neil.
Just hit a smoke.
Are you on drugs?
No, I'm not Jeffrey Bezos. I'm not on drugs.
I'm on drugs, Jeffrey
Infamous
Bezos.
for doing drugs and nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but that's my whole net handle. Anyways, so is there like a middle ground to like trying to engage intellectually with the movie without going like, oh, that's CGI, oh, that's green screen? Like, I think there's like because like someone wrote these films. Because like I hear about like turning the mind off, but then you also go like, well, what's the scene saying? What's the story?
I don't think I turn my mind off. I think I just turn my creator brain off and just let myself be entertained. Like, I try to just put myself in the headspace of an audience. I don't think audience members are just like, thank you, mindlessly watching like schlock. Like I don't think of Marvel as like Marvel movies as like just slop for the hogs, where they just sit there open
The
mouth.
bread and circus.
It is it is sometimes, but not all the time.
Well, not all the time. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes I get really mad at pop culture movies where you can tell that that's what the creators thought. Like that. I think if I pick up on anything harder than whether or not somebody's being genuine, it's if I'm being fucking condescended to, and that's something I can't fucking stand. Like, I can't stand it when I can tell that. Like,
I only had one visceral moment of that, and it was Despicable Me.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
I would love to hear
Try
everyone's
elaborate?
examples of pandering. Yes, please.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I just thought. So the overall humor was dumb. I was like, "You're losing me." And then the final straw was, there was this like gag where there's like some little girl goes into, I believe, a wardrobe, and then somehow a bunch of like swords and knives pierce through the wardrobe, and you see this red puddle drip out of it. I'm like, oh my god! And then the doors open, and you see that she had a juice box that had been pierced by a sword. And I was like, oh, okay, pretty good gag. And then she went, my juice broke. And I was like, okay.
Ew.
Clearly some executive is like, no, they're not going to get it. You got to say that the juice box broke, or they're not going to understand. And that's why I turned the movie off. That's when I was done.
Yeah, I hate that. That is a part of that pet peeve of mine, like that feeling that like you are kind of being talked down to with this comedy, and they often tell us working in entertainment to talk down to the fucking audience. We are often Dude,
nope. Well, not one example. You got nothing.
Oh my god, literally dude, you like if it okay, sorry to break the improv rule, but like if being like demeaned by a film is your kink, I won't judge. But that movie is like has nothing but contempt for the idiots that pay to see it. Like that's how it feels. Like it just feels like some executives like, yeah, just wave some 90s shit in their face and then like wink, and then like those fucking idiots will just eat it up. Like
when all the Seth Rogen cameos came together, I was like, that was cool.
Oh, I legitimately like bust out laughing at that one scene. And there was like one other scene where there was like a line of dialogue where Chip was like climbing down a pipe. And that was really cool. It was like kind of like a Spider-Man sort of thing where I was just impressed by the cinematography. And those were the two moments I enjoyed in that entire hateful fucking movie. Like,
how did they manage to make Ugly Sonic get old to me just by looking at the clips?
Yeah, well, the clips are basically everything about him in the movie. I mean, that's
I was about to give them that fucking money. I was gonna give them that fucking money when I found out Ugly Sonic was in it until I looked at the clips.
Yeah.
Ugly Sonic.
I will say they milked it too hard. I was kind of like, yeah, that I felt condescended there. I'll show my cards. I felt condescended too.
That movie is a shriveled udder. That is how milked. There was nothing. Oh man, one sec. I'll be right back.
The most ashy, rubbed raw udder of capitalism.
Thank you, Diddy.
Yeah, but you know what? Baby want milk.
Sometimes you just want some slop. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, I
might go get McDonald's right now.
I ate Taco Bell before we got on stream. I shoved the fucking nachos Bel Grande down my throat.
Say it again.
I shoved the nachos. I shoved a fucking nachos Bel Grande down my throat at a Taco Bell near you. Ask for the number 5. Tell them Kaylin sent you.
Jeff got him so fucking good, dude. That's crazy.
Praise Jeff. Praise Jeff. Just
we all love Jeffy down here.
Just praise Jeff. You know, when I do drugs and then get on stream, just praise Jeff. You know.
Oh my god, praise Jeff right quick. Where were we? What are we talking about? Who the fuck are you people?
I think that
we've been talking for an hour and 50, and like I don't think anyone knows who these voices are.
See. So if we were being technical about the form of a debate, we would have stuck on track. But because we don't have technical debating skills, we got off topic.
But does that mean the debate was bad? Yeah, exactly. Doesn't mean it wasn't indulgent
though. I mean, it wasn't indulgent. Debate. You know, did we succeed in what we set up to do with our debate? I don't know. I don't know.
What do we set up to do?
You can chat vote. Put Y if we did do it. Put poggers if we didn't.
Can we just get some poggers?
Just fucking pog up.
I can't do this. I give up. I give up.
Long day. We just want some poggers. Like, it's not hard. We don't ask a lot.
Quick,
Just put
everybody
some
go
positive in the
parasocial.
chat.
Yeah, get extremely parasocial. Ask for me to put my feet in the camera.
I don't know how to verb parasocial.
Hey, gang. I love you very much, everyone. You're all individuals to me. Please email me now.
Ooh, I gotta go.
Poggers, yes, got
go,
on Nero.
actually.
No, you sit your ass down, nigga. We just getting started. That was just the intro.
I have a psychiatry appointment.
What? What's wrong?
Yeah, tell us about it. Maybe talking about it might help more than going and wasting your money in the insurance system.
Yeah, they don't love you. We love you.
It's gonna take 5 minutes. I'm gonna say, hey, my meds are still meds. That's all.
Unbelievable,
that's
Ari.
it.
Comrade, I can't believe you would participate in capitalism. Pathetic.
Excuse me.
All
right. Well, it will be a short session. I could probably jump back in if you're still at it by the time I'm done.
Word. Probably not.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
We gotta just.
Concluding thoughts. I win. I don't even know what my position was.
No.
I think you won the pro Chip and Dale argument.
Yeah.
You won
that one.
No, he did.
I think. Yeah,
I did. You all like the movie now.
Yeah. I do like Ugly Sonic. I do like Ugly Sonic.
I mean,
I like
all
Ugly Sonic too.
Movie.
That almost
you can't take it back.
Ari was the most correct about everything that he said.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's
sucking up to the mighty.
No. If we want to have real debate, we have to go.
In summary, art's good when it's technical, but sometimes it doesn't have to be.
Oh.
Well, we did it. We did it.
Yeah.
Thank God we spent the time to sort this out. Next time, we're gonna fix feminism.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna fix them good.
We're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it better. All right, I gotta go.
Make feminism great again.
It came to my mind. I'm like, no, I'm not going that far.
You might as well have committed.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
So what now? Ari's not here. Why would I talk to any of you people?
That's
what the fuck?
Good point, actually.
In the same thing.
Yeah. Damn.
What the fuck? I want to discuss. What's your favorite season?
What's my favorite season?
There's a wrong answer.
No, wait.
I thought season 4 was pretty good. I think 5 was the one I liked the most, but 4 is probably objectively the best.
All right, I see you.
Stop.
And I respect.
Stop.
What's funny is I think Caleb knows what I'm talking about.
Stop.
I can't even say it.
I do. Everybody needs to make every fucking conversation about JoJo all the fucking time. God damn it.
I thought it was about Simpsons.
It's fucking JoJo.
He's could have been about anything, but he knew. He knew.
Fucking JoJo.
I just made a JoJo reference without saying anything explicitly JoJo related.
And I knew what he was fucking talking about. God damn it. Nigga.
Best though.
What?
Right?
What?
Do we need to get Ari back in here?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I think that's the way to settle this.
What? Y'all, bitch, listen, I'm good enough for my own fucking stream, nigga. I might have stopped drawing, but I'm still here. You know, they're here to see me.
To draw Richard Pryor going Super Saiyan.
Holy shit. That sounds great.
Nigga.
With his mustache all blonde.
I don't gotta draw shit. I don't gotta draw shit. I'm gonna pop you fur, nigga.
Oh my god.
I am not a pop you fur.
You get 200 Twitter furries.
I'm not a
draw Super Saiyan.
Poppy fur.
Draw Black Bart.
But I am gonna draw Super Saiyan. Black Bart? Okay.
Yeah, no,
nope. Too late now.
Oh hell yeah. No, what do you mean too late? This is better. This is so much better. Oh my god. Y'all, this is awesome. Hold on, I'm gonna look up what the most recent Black Bart picture is. You might be making history. Black Bart news. What the fuck?
Nigga gotta have a do-rag on.
Do you have a podcast, or is this just the name of that Twitch gives for those who wants to do podcasts? They didn't write it like this. I'm just struggling to English.
I'm fucking, listen, we are in the process of developing some sort of podcast. This was a part of the plan. I am currently the most free time, so like a lot of times I end up streaming more, but like we are a unit. We are a unit of artists. We will soon be upon thee in mass with podcasts and bigger productions than the ones that we can make alone. It's gonna be fucking litty.
You see, we're like the Avengers.
Yeah. Is this what Bart's neck looks like?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Wait, like Bart Simpson?
Yeah.
Oh.
You said Black
You're doing
Bart.
great.
I just got back.
Black Bart. You gotta have.
I love the dude. Right? Is someone gonna get mad at you on Twitter?
I hope I get fucking canceled and blacklisted over this. I'm trying to get blacklisted for drawing Black Bart.
Did I trigger the lips? Man, I keep seeing like conservative comments like, I identify as an attack helicopter. It's like, this is objective. We're still laughing at this.
It's like, nigga, if the shit was funny, we would at least think about it, you know? But it's the worst. I like really raucous shit. You know, I like really raucous, disturbing shit. I don't mind if something is irreverent and runs the risk of being offensive sometimes. You know, I can get jollies off that, but I just think we should think about, you know, the actual effects these things have. Yeah. You know, and judge each situation accordingly. That being said, though, just being fucking, you know, like nasty or like punching down or whatever, or being like, you know, politically incorrect for the sake of itself. He said, as he drew a black stereotype Bart Simpson with big lips next to his fucking wolf furry named Adolf.
It's a dichotomy.
What am I doing with my life?
Within everyone, there are two wolves you must feed.
Black.
One is a literal wolf. One is Black Bart.
Oh my god. This is
that reminds me of people who talk about how like, oh, you can't make Blazing Saddles today. It's like, well, Mel Brooks is a genius, and only he could probably make Blazing Saddles today.
Yeah, no, like for every fucking like trailblazing like movie or like Blazing Saddles, like because Blazing Saddles ran, a bunch of fucking idiots who could only crawl thought they were gonna make the next Blazing Saddles. You know? It was just like, oh, I know what made Blazing Saddles funny. Just the N-word.
They're halfway there. But what happens to the guy who says the N-word? That's what's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. There has to be
Mungo. Sorry, go on.
There has to be an emotional connection, even with comedy. It's gotta be there. You don't establish that connection of fucking empathy and feeling like you're in like watching a person's films should be like having a conversation with them and getting to know them, you know, over like a specific subject. And if your movie comes off raucous and utterly unaware of like, you know, how you should feel in certain situations, or like how things might make you feel, and it's just kind of masturbating in front of you, you know, you get a lot of risk that way, you know, by like trying to be too unaware of the audience or not thinking of how they might react at all, and then being politically incorrect or whatever. It's like, for what reason? Because all my cartoons have cops and authority figures and racists getting ripped the fuck apart and like eviscerated in insane Mortal Kombat kills, and like fucking you know, that is just for catharsis. I'm not advocating for these things, you know. It is just like a thing. Just it's like a thing that is there, that is not politically correct, but I am doing it for a good reason, because I trust people to know that I'm not for real about this shit, that it is just for catharsis.
But it's also like it's just like, how much art are we already indulged or just like imbued in, like as a culture, that has the same amount of violence and fucking gore and shit. The only thing that you're doing transgressive here is aiming it at the right people.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, fucking how many like movies where you like fucking like minorities or of like any kind, be it like race or gender or sexuality, get like butchered, you know, like fucking like Criminal Minds and like fucking CSI and shit are basically just like torture porn for conservative like housewives, you know?
Yeah.
And you just like, you just keep seeing like fucking these grisly ass murders and shit in these shows, and it's just like fucking like glorifying or just like overly like you know, sensationalizing like gang violence and shit, or like, you know, it's just like watching people who are like impoverished getting like obliterated.
Yeah.
And it's like, here you are just pointing it at the fucking people who wield power. It's like, whoa, slow down there, champ. You know, like,
yeah. And it's funny, you know, like, I think a lot of people, like, people are gonna have their own interpretations of this stuff, and that's unavoidable. But I think that the key to being irreverent in a constructive way, you know, I say as just some guy, you know,
the ghost of Black Bart,
because he looms in the onion skin verse, staring at me. I shouldn't have drew this nigga looking dead at me. I feel so weird. This is setting off a lot
he's judging you.
I'm getting a lot of my. This is setting off some Spurg alarms looking at this shit. But like fucking this. Damn, I forgot what I was talking about. Shit. Well.
Irreverent.
Oh, the key to being irreverent in a constructive way is to still be empathetic and listen to people. You know, to step out there and do some wild shit, but like to be like, oh, this thing could be misunderstood, and to care about if your empathy is understood, you know, like as you go, and to evolve with the rest of the world, you know?
Yeah. Eric Andre has that level of irreverence where it's like so fucking deranged. Like just imagining him in like Dalmatian latex running around a CVS.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love him.
He's like consistently been able to be edgy because he's always the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Like he's still like I think makes really funny like commentary on society and shit. But like when he does his really out of pocket shit, it's mainly him that's getting fucking hurt and humiliated.
Yeah.
So that's why it's easy for me to watch, because I'm just like, you know, it's like, yeah, the crazy thing is that this guy is getting like fucked by a gorilla in public. Like he's the one getting fucked by the gorilla. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, it's different from being like, oh, you know what's funny about trans people? You know, it's like,
that is pretty funny though.
And I just let me just say too, like with respect to Eric Andre, Eric, I love you. I still think you're hot, even though you do all this weird ass shit. And if we got married, we could do so much wild ass cartoons together. Please marry me. This is not a drill. All right, y'all can go ahead.
This is not a
Thank you.
drill.
Someone at Eric Andre now.
Track him down. Track him down.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Hello?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm back.
Aries.
Aha, you couldn't resist.
He
I
couldn't
told you it'd be
resist this.
short. I told you it'd be
Uh-huh.
short.
You were all, oh, I got better things to do than to hang with you fucking rubes. That's what you said. That's what you
Okay.
Is
said.
that what I said?
That's what
I
you
thought it was
said.
really interesting that you called us rubes. That's such like
Yeah.
a 20th century like.
So
insult.
based.
Yeah,
That sounds like me.
yeah, just terrible, uncouth.
I remember when
ignorant.
Mark was the debate and then just left because there was just no point.
This is my victory lap.
Damn.
Yeah, pretty just coming back to laugh at us for losing the debate.
God damn.
It's okay.
He
Wow.
did destroy us so hard with facts and logic.
Yeah.
Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale. Can't deny it.
Yes.
Oh man, best movie. I think on that note, I'm gonna waddle away with my tail between my legs.
Word.
Thank you guys for destroying me in the marketplace of ideas, and
That's what it's for.
Yes.
yeah, for me
And-
getting wrecked.
Actually, I think this is a good close for the stream in general, because
Yeah.
I am quite beyond the point of running a show. So, thanks everybody for stopping by. This was fun. Sorry I didn't get much to the chat. I saw y'all talking. Thank you for coming by, Gato Nero, Bad Game.
I saw it.
You did
I
saw it.
y'all.
Back again with
Also,
these hoes.
everyone in chat watched Three Amigos from 1986.
Yes.
It's a good movie. When you get to
So
the
good.
scene with the singing bush and the three horses, you'll know what I think is fucking hilarious.
I
It's
might-
really good.
I might watch that right the fuck now. Yeah. All right, y'all.
Don't watch.
Have a
Yeah,
good
I mean-
night, and I will catch y'all bitches next stream. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.